Welcome to Man of Steel Fan Gives Hope, the Facebook page on YouTube. So, what I'd like to talk about just now, wow, it is hot. Oh, no copyright allowed. Okay, so let's talk about Zack Snyder leaving the Dceu. And listen, here's just my thoughts about it all. It's not exactly leaving the DCU, but having a lesser role. Now, me being a Zack Snyder fan, you know, I'd be disappointed if it's true. But also, I'm a fan, me being a fan, and knowing what's happened with him and his daughter, his family, and what he planned to do anyway after Justice League. You know, I hope all the best. Now, this is my take on it, and I'll try to be liberal, you know, balanced, and the goods and the bads and stuff about everything. So the point is, right, we've got these new directors coming up. Joss Whedon helped with the Justice League, helped Zack through the bad time, and we've got Patty Jenkins, who made it good on Wonder Woman, that's bringing up the sequel, and we've got that one fella who's doing the Aquaman. Poor guy who done the Suicide Squad. You know, there's a lot of debate about what's happening with Gotham Sirens, and it wasn't mentioned at Comic-Con, you know, and this is the thing I've always said in my other videos. I hope DC doesn't, you know, put out a timeline, because they have to, because it doesn't work for them. They like to get directors and get the scripts and everything else, whereas Marvel, they already sort of know the formula and make the same sort of film, so they can make those sort of plans, you know, because they can just get anybody, because the script's done and they'll pay it whatever. But Zack Snyder, he created you know, well, Christopher Nolan wanted to do a Superman movie, but he knew it wasn't his thing, so he asked Zack Snyder to come along, because a lot of directors, from James Cameron to Christopher Nolan, respect Zack Snyder as a very good filmmaker. They respect, you know, I would say up and coming, but Zack's been doing this for years now. He's a lot older now, but they respect him in any case. And so they asked Zack Snyder to come up, and wow, it's hot. Not used to this. Living in Scotland, it's not used to the hot weather. And so he came aboard, done a Man of Steel, and then after Man of Steel, him and Chris Terrio and stuff got together and say, what would we do for a sequel for Man of Steel? Hence Batman v Superman came along once Bruce Wayne was mentioned. And then when he was writing sort of Batman v Superman, they came along with the Justice League. He'd also, at the same time, had written Wonder Woman. So everything, so he had a plan to get from, I would say definitely from, well, Man of Steel, we probably originally planned to make a sequel to it, Man of Steel 2, but that changed, came up with Batman v Superman. And then after Batman v Superman, he wanted to make the next follow-up, which would be the Justice League, and that would have started the DCEU. Now, once he'd finished Justice League, at the time it was going to be a two-parter, but his aim was get Justice League done. He had this plan to go all the way up to Darkseid, and then he would probably more likely step away from the DC properties. You know, there was no mention of him doing directed a Green Lantern movie. There was no mention of him doing a Batgirl movie. He's not, you know, that was his take, because he planned really to do Justice League and then move on to his own project outside the heroes. So, you know, and that's it. We can't have the same director for every DCU. It's good to have a different flavour in it and a different take on it. I would not like it if Joss Whedon, you know, you can't ask one person to direct all these superhero movies. The pressure alone would be too much. But Warner Brothers came up and said, right, we've got all these directors, here's the sandpit, play in it. As long as you don't go out the sandpit, everything's fine. So yeah, for me, Zack Snyder has started the DCU. He'll probably be kept on as a consultant, and maybe if he really wants to, he can direct a film, another superhero film in years to come. Who knows? Maybe a Man of Steel 2, maybe the next Justice League. But right now, I think Zack Snyder's more concerned with his family, so he should be, and with any other film projects outside the hero genre that he wants to expand. You know, he wants to do something different. You know, Steven Spielberg didn't want to do E.T. movies all the time, or Jaws. They wanted to do something different. Now, what you'll get is you get these websites that will say, oh, his role in the DCU is lessening because of this and because of whatever reason. And to be honest, you know, you can believe whatever you want. But for me, I like to think, you know, that was his initial plan, to step away or step down from being a vital cog of the DCU after Justice League, because he has now set, you know, the bar. He has set what the films should be. He has given you Batman, a new version of Batman, a new version of Superman. He's brought Wonder Woman. He's proven how the DCEU can work by bringing in all these different heroes, gods even, aliens. He's explained why they would accept Superman and aliens thanks to Man of Steel. So I think he has created the universe. So, like George Lucas, here's my universe, here's the sandpit, get other directors in to make the original trilogy, you know, and some of the films shined because of it. But for me, as much as DC, of course, is synced with the DCU, so will Zack Snyder's name be, because it's thanks to Zack that we have these films and we have this DCU universe that works. So please, just don't worry about these. I'm learning to just scroll by these sites about what Zack's role is in the DCU, and let's just take a step back and think, yeah, he needs this time away. He wants to have his creative stuff pour out. He's always wanted to do this. I don't know, is it photography sort of film? I'm not too sure. Of things I've read in the past, that was the film he was wanting to do after Justice League. There was no other plans for him to do anything else in the DCU apart from the Justice League. You know, I think he was planning to do the second one. But right now there is no talk about a Justice League 2 film yet. You know, at the Comic Con, I'm talking about this one just passed, Batgirl, Suicide Squad 2, Flashpoint, and so forth. So there is no big need for him to be anywhere on the scene. You know, but so let's bring in the other directors. Let's give Zack that piece. You know, he started it, and he will always be remembered as the guy that started the DCEU. And as I say, he helped with Wonder Woman, he helped Patty Jenkins, so he'll probably be involved in a way, and he'll be respected by the other directors if they need any help in what they should do in the DCU. They'll go to Zack. We already knew that Jeff Johns was now the head of the sort of this side of things. He was put in charge, just like Kevin Feige. So they two will go side to side and sort things out. So we've got a good team, and I made a video about the DCEU team, and I firmly believe the DCEU team, considering of Zack and Jeff Johns and Charles Roven and whatever, I'm sure I think did he not step away? But you know, they do have a team there to create it. It just doesn't mean that Zack Snyder has to direct every single film or be a control freak on every sort of universe. He's set the standard, he's set the tone, he's created the universe. So no matter what happens to Zack after this, no matter how much the involvement he is with the DCEU, it's thanks to him that exists in the first place. So please bypass these news about the involvement and stuff like that. Okay, all the actors on the set of Justice League and all the directors coming forward, respect them, love them, and we should do the same. And when you want any news, just ask Ben Affleck the next time you see him, or the Borg. They'll certainly put all those rumours to shit. Okay, so this is the Man of Steel fan gives hope, giving you his idea and why Zack will always be connected with the DCU. Little or small, he's the one that started it all.